Now, Negar Mortazavi is a journalist and host of the Iran podcast. She joins us now live from Washington. Negar, it's good to have you here with us on TRT World. Now, there are reports out there citing senior U.S. officials which say that Israel is planning military exercises to destroy Iranian nuclear sites if diplomacy fails. What could be the potential implications of such a move?
Cautious about speculating on such a hypothetical. There have been talks of a strike on Iran's nuclear sites for many years, since before President Obama started the negotiations. There were talks of a potential war either by the U.S. or Israel under President Trump and now under President Biden. So I just want to be cautious. But the lack of diplomacy, of successful diplomacy, will eventually lead to military escalation. Would it be a full-on attack on Iranian soil of nuclear sites? I'm not sure if that would be an option. But if that is, in fact, something that the United States or Israel pursues, it's just going to have a very catastrophic result for not just the countries involved, but other countries in the region. Any form of sort of classic military strike on Iran is definitely not going to go unanswered. The Iranians will retaliate, and they have proxies and allies across the region who would also be capable, which makes them capable, together with their missile system, their defense system, that would make them capable to create a very catastrophic situation across the region. So I think it's a very, very dangerous path, and I'm just not seeing any good options if this is the path that the United States or its closest ally, Israel, is going to take.
Now, Negar, these talks have remained in a deadlock for years now. So what do you think it would take for this deadlock to be lifted? Certainly, parties involved in these talks have to make some sort of concessions. What are those concessions?
Great point. I think diplomacy will only be achieved with compromise from both sides, meaning from Tehran and from Washington. Under President Trump, obviously, there weren't any nuclear negotiations happening. He had this policy of maximum pressure. When President Biden came into office, there was an expectation that he would return to JCPOA as he promised fairly quickly, and that also didn't happen. So right now, it's not the end goal that the two sides disagree on so much. The Iranians want sanctions lifted, and the Biden administration wants Iran to go back to full compliance with the nuclear deal. But it's sort of the sequence, and who goes first. Tehran is telling Washington that, look, you left the nuclear deal, you're outside the deal, so you need to join the deal, sort of go first with the sanctions relief. And Washington wants Tehran to scale back their nuclear program or sort of agree on a sequence before they take any meaningful step. And I think that's the main impasse right now as far as who goes first, who makes the first compromise, which each side thinks would put them in a vulnerable position if they're the ones to go first. And I think that's where the impasse is. And of course, there's a change of administration in Tehran. So the new hardline administration, the Iranian administration, is coming in with even more demands and a tougher line towards Washington.
All right. Negar Mortazavi, thank you very much for talking to us here on TRT World.